What's up guys, today we're going to be going over a new combo on Solar that makes it, in my opinion, right up there with Void 3.0, if not even better. And in this video we're going to be showing off what that combo is and why I think it is now potentially the best subclass in the game. And this revolves around the new fragments which just became available last night because the community did 20 million of the Nightmare containments. Right now code AIR is 30% off for G Fuel. You can go ahead and click the link in the comments description. It'll take you over to their store. Find something that sounds good to you. Right now the Tetris flavors are on sale, so if you're looking for something new to try, definitely try that one out or stock up on all of your faves. If you ever want to support me besides just watching my videos, that will be the best way to do so, and it'll help you stay energized for all these long Destiny 2 farming sessions at the beginning of the season. Way to get these new fragments is from Ikora in the tower. Most of us already had 2 of the 4 unlocked ahead of time because of a bug, but now we can get the last 2. And if you didn't have the other 2 before, now you can get all 4. But the key one for this combo that just completely unlocks the Solar subclass is Ember of Empyrean, which is where Solar Weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. So the way this works is if I use my charged melee to proc radiant, as you see, it will be for 10 seconds initially. Then if I get a kill, it'll go up to 12. So it actually pushes the timer higher than the initial value. And every single time I get a final blow with my Solar Weapon or any Solar ability, it will add 4 seconds back to radiant. So more or less, as long as you're getting a final blow every 4 seconds, you'll have infinite of the radiant buff. And now if we combo that with the artifact mod Classy Restoration, which will make it so you proc restoration whenever you use your Solar class ability, this will work on all 3 characters. And what will happen is when you use your class ability, not only do you proc restoration, it's actually restoration times 2, which is a lot stronger. And just like the radiant buff, initially it's for 7 seconds, but as we get kills, it will add 4 seconds to the timer and take it up to 12 seconds. So now with this new fragment, all we have to do is use our charge melee, use our class ability, then we proc both radiant and restoration. And as long as we get kills once every 4 seconds, we'll have both of them forever. And not only does this extend the timer of the buff, as we mentioned, it actually pushes the timer higher than the initial amount, which is what this fragment should be doing, Ember of Solace. It will increase the duration of both radiant and restoration applied to you. But as we saw with Empyrean, it does that plus more, which makes the Ember of Solace more or less a useless fragment because this one just does the same thing and a lot more. So this is definitely a must-use fragment now because it's making it so you always have the 2 most important Solar buffs to your character. So now the full combo, which works on all 3 characters, is simply Ember Torches to become Radiant, Ember of Empyrean to extend the duration of both the Radiant and Restoration, and all you need is Classy Restoration to proc that Restoration times 2 and have that constant health regen. And there's one trick you can do with this artifact mod, and it's been around forever. If you get close to a edge and you activate your class ability as you're running, what will happen is it'll activate Classy Restoration but not actually use your class ability, and this will work on both Warlock and Titan, so definitely something to keep in mind. So that's all good and fine, but why do I think this now makes Solar the best subclass? Well, if you haven't experienced Restoration times 2 yet, yeah, I mean, you just can't die with Restoration times 2. I mean, it is the equivalent of being in a well at all times. The second I lost Restoration, I died within like a second. It is actually insane how strong Restoration times 2 is. And the fact that you can chain that forever by just getting a kill is like you're a mobile Will of Radiance that you just can't die. Like literally, you just can't. So we compare that to Void. Void had Devour, right? And Devour will give you full health back upon kill, which if we compare full health on kill to just constant health regen, I think constant health regen is just way better because with Devour, if you were playing harder and harder content, it was harder to chain those kills together. And in between getting those full chunks of health back, there was a lot of time between that you could die from a quick burst of damage. But with Restoration times 2 on Solar, the health regen is so strong and so extreme that it really takes away those moments of that quick burst of damage hitting you where you could die in between those kills. So I think Restoration times 2 is not only like slightly better than Devour, I think it's way better than the health of Devour. Then if you combo that with the new change to Resilience, where with tier 10 Resilience you get 40% damage reduction, Yeah, I mean, good luck dying. And if you have not made a tier 10 resilience armor set yet, you definitely should be dropping everything and doing it. It's like playing a completely different game. It is like night and day how big of a change this is. It's more or less like having protective light at all times, and it's definitely worth running resilience over recovery. There's all kinds of ways to heal in this game now, but there's no way to replicate what tier 10 resilience is doing for you. And it's actually a lot easier to get a full set than you think. All you have to do is first put on the Ghost mod resilience armor, which will make it so in theory every drop will have 10 plus resilience. And what you can do with this mod is with the new armor from the helm is it's guaranteed to be very high stats, and every single piece I've taken has been 20 plus resilience with this mod equipped. So if you just pull one for all 4 slots, you more or less have a full maxed out resilience set just right there. And from there you can take a few more just to get the right secondary stat. For example, I took 3 helmets, and on the third one I finally got discipline, which is what I wanted. And yeah, it is pretty much that easy to get a full maxed out resilience set. Then the second part of this combo, which is the constant radiant buff. Once again, if we compare Radiant to Void, what Radiant does, it's going to be a 25% buff, which is not only a pretty chunky buff, it is also stacking with everything in the game, which is unusual for a buff. So arguably, it is by far the best buff in the game, and with this new fragment, you can have it at all times. And comparing that to Void, Void gave you a debuff, which was 15%, only came from really your grenade and a few other things, so it had way less uptime than just a constant passive buff like Radiant, and it was only 15% and did not stack with any other debuff in the game where Radiant is stacking. So in terms of increasing your damage output, Radiant is way better than anything Void could offer us. And I guess the final part of both Solar and Void is just like the add clear potential of the subclasses with explosions and things like that. I think if you're using an incandescent solar weapon and you make a decent ability spam build, I think solar is right on par with what we could do with Void. So overall, the new build I'm running on Warlock is Torches, Empyrean, Searing, and then finally the Ashes. And I'm using the same loadout I was before. The only difference is I have Class C Restoration on now, and I have Tier 10 Resilience compared to having 10 Recovery before. And I can go ahead and link the new updated dim link for this build with the few new changes. But overall, the simple combo of the 2 fragments plus the artifact mod, in my opinion, makes Solar the best subclass right now because of how strong this health regen is from Restoration ×2. I mean, even in content where you're 10, 20 light under, you just simply cannot die. And the fact that you can have that at all times is kind of absurd. Then you combo that with the Radiant buff at all times, which is giving you one of the highest buffs in the game that is stacking with other stuff. So for example, with the Warlock build, where you're going to be having Empire Rifts all the time, it's going to be stacking with that. Pick up a Solar Elemental Well for Phantomite, it will be stacking with that also. So you'll be giving yourself a huge increase to your weapon damage. And while you're doing that, constant health regen, where you can just sit in the middle of like 50 plus adds, and even then your health bar would barely even move. I mean, yeah, this combo is just broken and it works on all 3 characters. And I don't think there's really too much more to say. I do truly believe Solar right now is the best subclass. And tomorrow I plan on making a Hunter build for you guys to see what there is. I've already made a Titan build and a Warlock build, so the last one will be Hunter. Then down the road, I think there'll be probably at least one more Warlock build and maybe a few more Titan builds. So definitely look forward to that. Once again, my code AIR is 30% off for G Fuel. You can go ahead and click the link in the comments description. It'll take you over to the store. Find something that sounds good to you. The Tetris flavors are on sale this weekend, so you can try those out. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.